You are not confused. You are miscategorized. There is a generation that doesn't fully belong anywhere. Not Gen X, not millennials, something in between. And if you've ever felt like you're slightly out of sync with the modern world, like you understand it but don't fully belong to it, like you can function in it but never feel completely comfortable inside it, this is why. You grew up in a time where silence existed, where boredom wasn't a problem to fix, but a space you lived in, where attention wasn't constantly being pulled apart by notifications, screens, and endless information. You learned how to wait. You learned how to focus. You learned how to sit with your own thoughts without needing something to fill the gap. And then, everything changed. The world didn't gradually shift. It accelerated. Technology didn't just appear, it took over. And you had to adapt. You learned how to use it, how to move fast, how to process more, how to stay connected all the time. But your mind was never originally wired for this level of constant input. And now you exist in a quiet tension that most people can't even name. Part of you still craves depth, real conversations that don't end in a few seconds, moments that actually mean something, time that isn't constantly interrupted. But another part of you feels the pressure of the modern system, the need to respond quickly, to keep up, to not fall behind, to stay visible in a world where attention moves faster than thought. So you adapt, but never completely. You function, but something always feels slightly off. And over time, that turns into a kind of mental fatigue that's difficult to explain. Because it's not about doing too much, it's about thinking in two different ways at the same time. Your brain is running two systems. One that was built in a slower world, where depth mattered, where patience had value, where meaning took time. And another that was forced onto you, where speed is everything, where attention is fragmented, where the ability to react quickly matters more than the ability to understand deeply. And switching between these two systems every single day is exhausting. That's why even when you're resting, your mind doesn't feel fully at ease. That's why even when you're doing nothing, you still feel slightly drained. Because your brain never fully settles into one mode. It keeps adjusting, recalibrating, shifting between depth and speed, between reflection and reaction, between silence and noise. And the hardest part is, most people don't see this. Because they were built for one system. They grew up inside the noise. They don't remember anything different. For them, this is normal. But for you remember both. You remember what it felt like before everything became instant, before everything became urgent, before everything competed for your attention. And that memory changes how you experience the present. It creates distance. It makes you question things that others accept without thinking. It makes you pause when others rush. It makes you feel disconnected, not because you can't keep up, but because you can see what's happening more clearly than most. And for a long time, that can feel like a disadvantage. Like you're the one falling behind. Like you're the one who can't fully adapt. Like something about you is slower, or different, or not built for this world. But the truth is, it's the opposite. What feels like friction is actually awareness. What feels like being out of place is actually perspective. You are not struggling because you are incapable. You are struggling because you can see both sides. You can see the benefits of speed, but you also see the cost. You can use technology, but you're not fully consumed by it. You can stay connected, but you still understand the value of disconnecting. And that balance is rare. Most people today don't have it. They depend on constant stimulation. They need noise to feel okay. They need input to avoid silence. But you know how to exist without it. You know how to think without distraction. You know how to sit in stillness without feeling empty. And in a world that is becoming more and more addicted to speed, noise, and surface-level thinking, that ability becomes power. Quiet power. The kind that doesn't need attention to exist. The kind that doesn't break under pressure. The kind that sees clearly while everything else moves too fast to notice. So maybe you don't fit perfectly into this system because you were never meant to. You were built between two worlds, one that taught you depth and one that forced you to learn speed. And instead of choosing one, you carry both. And yes, that creates tension. Yes, it makes things harder sometimes. But it also gives you something most people will never have: the ability to step back, to see patterns, to understand what's real and what's just noise. So stop trying to force yourself to operate like everyone else. Stop measuring yourself by a system that was not designed for how your mind works. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not failing to adapt. You are adapting in a way that most people can't even understand. You are operating on two levels at the same time. And the people who can do that, the people who can move through both depth and speed, both silence and noise, both reflection and action, are the ones who, over time, don't just survive in this world, they master it.